Good morning, traders. Today's video, we will be covering Euro CAD, Euro CHF, and two additional pairs that we're currently looking to hop in the market for Euro AUD and NZD CAD. So let me start off first with Euro CAD. Executed this trade the other day. Both of our take profits were hit. Take profit one at the minus 27.2 was hit roughly at just in the afternoon. We ended up moving stops to break even, taking out a 50% partial and letting the rest of the trade run. We actually also had a bias that price would then struggle at this 163.485 level, and as you can see on this lower time frame, on the 15-minute time frame, price came up sharply and then respected this area as a resistance and then started to decline. On the smaller time frame, we do see a market structure shift to a degree here, giving me a bias that price may be continuing in a price reversal. So this was about a 1 to almost a 1 to 5, it was a 1 to 4.5, with partials, everything maybe about 4%, 3.5% up for this trade. Moving on to Euro CHF, unfortunately, we were not able to get into this trade. We didn't actually see the proper price action. If you click on the previous video for more details, we were looking for some type of price action, some type of rejection in this area. We wanted price to come up, come down, respect this area, give us some type of bearish engulfing candle of some sort, maybe a degree of like a larger candle. Let me just do this for you. Looking for maybe like a bearish engulfing candle somewhere along this region. We did see this bearish engulfing candle, but it wasn't quite what we liked. There really was just a lot of choppy consolidation. There actually was some price action, but we actually missed this. And this would have made our trade below a 1 to 2 risk to reward ratio. And this already considerably was a 1 to 2.3, which is on the lower side of our risk to ratio. So actually we ended up not seeing anything and not getting in this trade. So we move on to the next trade. So currently we're looking at Euro AUD, and we have some markup that has begun. On the 15-minute chart, we are in our fib trick zone. We are at a nice Fibonacci level. Let's see here. Let me drop from this swing low on the 15-minute chart to this swing high, and we're roughly just above that 61.8 Fibonacci level, respecting in the 50% area. We do see some type of imbalance here in this gray box. I can definitely jump up to the higher time frame for more clarity, but this is something that we're looking to get into. So first things first, what I did, I went to the hour chart. I drew my trend line from this starting here, tip of the wick, crossing as many wicks and avoiding as many body of candles that I could. And we have 1, 2, 3 rejection, and we were actually looking for a 4th rejection somewhere along this realm. So we still can potentially do this. So we're waiting for that to happen. And I talked about in imbalance, we have some inefficiency here. This is basically a price magnet where price will potentially come back to fill. It doesn't happen all the time, but it is a very strong confirmation that price will respect this zone. We are sitting roughly above the 50 EMA, so we have 3 confirmations there. And we also do have a variation of market structure. We have price that was kind of ranging. We have this lower low, lower, I would call this like a lower high, a lower low, kind of makes a lower high, a lower low, and makes a low. And then we makes, I would actually call this a high, not a higher high, but still like a low. And this would be then again a low, and then we have that begin shift of market structure, creating that higher high, and now we have this higher low here, and then price breakout and increases dramatically, making an insane higher high, coming back to a pullback to now making a higher low. So our market structure shift was actually along the realm of this region here. We have price shifting right there as the arrow's pointing. So for me, we're looking at an uptrend market here. I then drew my fibs from here to here. So basically this swing low to this swing high before price began to retrace. And basically then we drew our fib trick from basically, let me delete it for you, restart, show you this swing high to this swing low. So we're talking about more at this high and to this low right there. So that's what deemed us for the fib trick there. Lines up with the minus 27 and the minus 61.8, which is the move within the move being completed. And then we delete the fibs for clarity. And basically we zoom down to the 15-minute. We're looking for some type of price action. But first, most importantly, we're looking for price to potentially show me a signal of some sort of this variation, potentially maybe price coming down, respecting the trend line, even better, maybe wicking, touching this fair value gap, and then showing us some type of price action in this direction. Once we see that confirmation, whether it's on the 15-minute or 5-minute, we would then execute a long. And what am I going to say? Where are my stops? Just outside the fib trick or just outside the nearest Fibonacci respected level. So it looks like we're respecting the 50%. We're not quite there. If we do respect the 61.8, I'd probably put my stops somewhere outside of here. Just considering it's a very large, it seems like a very broad stop loss. I'll have to assess on the hour chart once this trade is initiated. And then I would then make my targets from my first take profit and my final take profit. I do see price has struggled here. This might be an area where we might look to take a 25% partial move stop to break even. But our first target will be this 1.80074 level. And our overall take profit will be that minus 61.8, giving us somewhere along the lines of a 1 to 5, depending. Maybe if I'm really conservative, maybe like a 1 to 4.5. But we will see how the trade plays out if we actually get into the trade. And then we're also looking at NZD CAD. We do see a market was trending downward. We do see that price did eventually break out, retested this trend line, now confirming as a counter trend line, and then generating its new own trend line in the upward. And we also then see I was starting to draw the fib trick to see if we were completing the move within the move. I'll draw the fib here. So from this swing low, I'm looking at this most recent swing, and I'm bringing it up to this swing high, and right there. And as you can tell, price is now making a doji, dragonfly, an indecision candle essentially. If price closes in the next 27 minutes, this is another signal for me. I'll go down to the 15-minute and maybe potentially look for some price action. We are at the 61.8. We are above the 50 EMA. We are respecting the trend line multiple times. For people that are newer to the channel, maybe more novice and trying to understand like what I'm actually looking at, I'm trying to see the trend line touch as many wicks as possible. We have multiple candle wicks crossing this trend line, adding to our confluence and confirmation to our bias of a potential long. So there's that. And then as far as the fib trick, I went down to the 15-minute. I basically, let me highlight this for you. I went from this swing high to this swing low. And I will do it with you. So I'll delete the fib trick so you can see. And basically I went from this swing high to this swing low. And basically then I draw my fib trick completed box of the move within the move being completed. And I'll make it to my fib trick, delete it for confirmation. And this is indicating keeping me in scope, keeping me within the framework of the potential trade setup of knowing where I am in the market. And as I can see, even on the 15-minute, we do see an indecision candle. We have a doji, dragonfly, a potential gravestone type of candle. Love to see it. And we will see how the play trades out in probably the next, like I said, 27 minutes, depending. Could be sooner if I do see something else on the next 11 minutes or so, but more importantly, probably the next 26 minutes, 27 minutes or so, we'll decide if we're going to get in this trade or not. If we do get in this trade, it'll be probably somewhere along the realms here. What am I going to say here? Stop loss outside the fib trick and outside the nearest respected fib zone. So I would say we're expecting more closer to that 50, in between the 61.8. So I'd probably put my stops just outside of here to be safe. And we would then target take profit 1 at the minus 27. It's still at 3.5, and we have a almost nearly a 1 to 5 if we target the full minus 61.8. This is about 25 pips and potentially risking maybe 5. So this could potentially be in and out maybe by tomorrow morning, New York session. And yeah, so those are the analysis for this week so far. And like I said, we just took profit on Euro CAD, and we are looking at Euro AUD and NZD CAD on potential entries. So if you're liking these videos and they're quite helpful to you, press the like button and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.